What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers, the glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes
What's up? What's up?
and Daniel Acevedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So, welcome to Monday's episode. So, Monday, Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday, discussion, Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. But if you're listening to us on the radio, you get everything all at one time, and also on television. So definitely continue to check us out. Thank you for your support. And without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from thehackernews.com, written by Ravi Lakshmanan. And the title of this one is DeepSeek app transmits sensitive user and device data without encryption, right? So we all talked about the DeepSeek, last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, we brought it up. But as they dig further and further into this, there's more and more they're finding out that's a little disheartening, right? And we talked about it before. We talked about how the prevalence of AI and how it's opening it up to have all these different versions of it that are out there, right? And so as they do a audit of DeepSeek's mobile app, right, for the Apple iOS operating system, glaring security issues, right? And we talked about this, about the guardrails being taken off, right, because it assists with expediency in getting these different AI models out there, right? But yeah, there's all types of stuff. There was weak encryption, symmetric encryption that was on there, right? A reuse of initialization vectors in there that was a little troubling, right? But we these types of things happening should be, I don't want to say should be more broadcast, but it should be more troubling for us, right? Because with everything that we do in the world that's technology based, this is the type of stuff, this will be what does us in, right? Like I make a half-hearted joke all the time where I say technology will kill us. Like it's becoming more and more serious every time I say it, right? And it's for reasons like this. We've got to do better. And I can't say we as the regular person, but these companies have to do better when it comes to what they put out there for everybody, right? Because the fact that DeepSeek had all of these different problems when it came to guardrails being taken off, no real protections for things, and having this information out there, it's a problem, right? And it could be that people are they're becoming numb to it, right? So we like to put this stuff out there for people to know, but they probably are just like, and we kind of joke about it a little bit ourselves, right? Like, oh, our information's out there again, ha ha ha. We're just going to get some more, some more protection, from LifeLock.
Right, some LifeLock.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like, and maybe we shouldn't be so cavalier about it. But the DeepSeek thing, man, and it's crazy because I've started to see some stuff at work about it as well as come out. You know what I mean? Some different reports and things that are, maybe not so releasable to the public. It's just like, this is crazy. Like this is wild. What's going on with this, and the fact that it was, I don't want to say allowed to happen, but people were they didn't think that much about it when it was happening. But yeah, we got to do better, folks. But Daniel, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Ooh, this one's it's gonna have the longest tail probably of any of the articles and topics we talk about. DeepSeek's a rough one. It's weird, right? So as a society, I feel like we did a better job at not jumping on the thing that was hot and new. Like before, when there was a new Apple iPhone release, or even in the gaming community, right? Like the new Xbox, new PlayStation, people would always kind of wait for the first batch to be sold and let your friends buy it. It get messed up, get all the bugs, get all the tweaks out. And then on the second or third wave, people would like buy more and kind of the sales would go up. But I don't know where, as a community,
FOMO.
we kind of
FOMO.
What was
People,
that?
I said
Yeah,
FOMO.
it just it changed. It flipped 180. Now it's not even like an hour out, and people are just like downloading and using things without thinking about the second and third repercussions. And with DeepSeek, this is augmented and magnified at a pace and with so much that it can do harm to you and your information. It's kind of crazy. There was like a big outroar for Meta, right? That's why they brought Old Boy to Congress to talk about, all the data that was spilled. And people were really upset about that. But the US community seems to not really care about China having their information. Like there was another person on on LinkedIn that did a great post, a video about the terms and agreement of what DeepSeek is allowed to have as your information for you signing up for the app. And it goes on to talk about like your personal information, your device's information. So IP, region, OS type, version of OS, third party apps that get linked. So if you ever sign in with like LinkedIn or Instagram or Meta, now it has the rights to your personal information on those apps as well. And he goes on and talk about all the types of information that just by signing up to use DeepSeek, it's allowed to access without any questions, or any repercussions. You can't, no go backs, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. So to hear this article talk about it sending information unencrypted, I'm not really surprised. It's as we keep learning day to day. This is week 4 maybe. This has been out for a month, I think. We're just gonna learn more how deep the trench is dug on how bad, from a security perspective and protection of your own personal information, DeepSeek is. I'm not saying that ChatGPT or OpenAI, these other companies that you sign up for, have these kind of things too, but I feel like they've given a little bit more care and concern since they're the industry leading company, that they've had to answer to these things because they've been out in the limelight. I almost feel like DeepSeek was like slapped together in somebody's garage because they had money and they're like, hey, just push it out because capitalist mindset, and we just want to like get as much money as we can. We can showcase that we do it at a third of the cost, get the clickbait, and overnight will be a sensation. And they were right. Their go-to-market was amazing. And I think now people are kind of figuring out, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't sign up for this thing. Or not, because I don't know. There's almost like a blase kind of feeling in the United States right now, the general consumer. Like they don't really care what it means to have their information out there. But we'll see a year, 2 years down the road, their identity gets stolen, or people are making fake accounts, fake bank accounts, or doing things with their likeness or their information out there. If they maybe give a second thought to doing things like this, signing up for apps like this, and what that actually means. So last thing I'll say to this, I know it's like I'm landing this plane. I know it's a long way, and a lot of things I'm saying, off the cuff here, but working in the US or having apps in the US, there's lots of regulations to it, right? Now, the Chinese government over there, the way they operate is very different than the US. So there's nothing stopping the Chinese government whenever they want to stepping into an organization like DeepSeek and just saying, hey, this is now national secrets and this information belongs to me, and just taking control of all of that. So that's another thing too that I don't think people really think about when they sign up for things like this. Same thing with TikTok and ByteDance, and that's why it's such a big story. But it almost seems to me that people really don't really care about their personal information and kind of who they give it to.
So to your point about what you were talking about when they bought Zuckerberg in front of Congress, right? It's fake outrage. So like people were like, "Oh, he did all of these things, but did you see so many people?" And of the billions of Facebook accounts that were out there, right? I'm not going to even say the stuff that's international, but in the U.S. we have 300 and some odd million people, but let's say 90 million people have Facebook, right? How many of them really got off the platform? Right? Like, I don't remember it taking such a big hit that people were really truly outraged to where they were like, I will not support that product anymore. Right? It's only because it was put in front of their face and you saw it on the news that he had to testify before Congress. Right? So, yeah, fake outrage to me. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead, man.
No, you're good. I was gonna make a bad pun about something like in a few years we'll figure out how deep they seek or so. I don't know. I was working on it. I appreciate
Something there.
the bailout. No, I can't disagree with you guys. I'm just really surprised that from a network perspective, right? So like DeepSeek's OS app globally disables app transport security, so ATS, which is an iOS platform level protection that prevents sensitive data from being sent over unencrypted channels, is what Now Secure said. So this is Apple's responsibility to tell DeepSeek to either tighten it up or we're going to delist you.
I'm not gonna do that.
So that baffles me because it's a free app, so they're not making Apple's not making any money off of it anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
So like, why wouldn't you just like that? That's the part that I don't understand. Like maybe that's not a requirement before you go to being live, but you would think so. Like, hey, we found a vulnerability. You need to patch this out, or we're gonna take you off, even though they're the right as we speak about this, they're the number 5 free app in the world, right, on the Apple platform. But I don't believe they're monetized. I don't believe they're making any money though. So I'd have to double check. Like maybe there's a premium to like there's another version of DeepSeek that you can upgrade to, or there's some ad somewhere. I've not downloaded it, so I cannot tell you how it's being monetized right now.
So I got to be honest. I don't know how that works when you get stuff put into the Play stores, right? Whether it be for Android, Google, or Apple. But I find it hard to believe that it's they're not getting anything from it. It may be free to the customers, right, that are going on to download it. Like, I downloaded it, I double click,
Right.
it's downloaded, but
There has to be
the
something on the
companies
back end, right?
themselves, the companies themselves have to be paying Apple to have it in the Play store.
It's conspiracy. Daniel going to come into the chat real quick. Or unencrypted, all this is getting stored in the Chinese servers called Volcano something or the other, right? All this is getting transported to China. It's a nation state. They're just grabbing all this information from all over the world and funneling it straight to China for their next initiative. But that's it. That's all I know. Right,
perhaps. I mean, it would be a great way of training their model, right? Just like here's the freebie. We'll take as much as necessary. To me, this seems as though the it being unencrypted is either a flaw or, like you said, it's a feature for China, because this is another ByteDance banger, right? Like, but this is the original recipe, ByteDance. It's not like we have servers in a different country and we're keeping you protected. Like, no, this is actually going to China. Like it's in the network flow. Like they're like, we're not even trying to hide it.
I don't know if it's ByteDance, but where they're storing the information is owned by ByteDance. Like that Volcano, whatever it's called, which I can't find it in the article right now.
Yeah, I think ByteDance is one of their biggest investors or what have you. Like ByteDance and Tencent, and there's a bunch of companies that are over there that are kind of part of the government, kind of not. But in this case, they're not even trying to hide it. They're just like, hey, this is definitely going right back to our servers, because it's like even the font has Chinese characters in it, right? Like this is it's supposed to be a product made for China, but you can use it too. U.S. is fine. So you know what I mean? And it's already been being censored or being blocked by, I have a long list of people.
A lot of them.
It's worth noting that several countries, including Australia, Italy, the Netherlands, Thailand, and South Korea, and then government agencies in India and the United States, such as Congress, NASA, Navy, which is weird, right? My Navy specifically, Pentagon, and Texas. That's a weird list. Have instituted bans on DeepSeek from government devices. So we know that they're collecting, but there has to be some kind of something where Apple can hit a kill switch, like, hey, we know that this is nefarious. Like you're saying, Shannon, like perhaps there is some money being made on the back end.
We know they can. They did it with TikTok. You know what I mean? We saw them.
Yeah. People are paying like $50,000 for phones with TikTok on it, because it's still you're still unable to download it if you don't already have it. Which is weird. Why would people delete something that they're so passionate about, and then now that it's not banned, they're like, yeah, give me a phone. Even GameStop's collecting them, like their game devices, right? GameStop will pay you. I don't even know how much, like probably $1.50 in a coupon, because GameStop's so cheap, to get your phone because it has TikTok still on it. I don't know. We live for strange times, like you said. Like I don't understand what's going on in people's minds when it comes to FOMO, right? Like we panic buy and we do a bunch of weird stuff. Like this should have been vetted harder. It shouldn't be on the store to begin with. And I'm sure, like probably as we speak, there's some kind of order or something being written to get rid of it. I'd be very surprised if it remains.
I'm certain China knew about it. They were like, these Americans don't read. Look at how they vote. We know they don't read.
Right. And it's even written in English, to be honest with you. Like, because again, I have not downloaded the app, right? I don't have like a burner phone to test these things out on.
Yeah, a burner laptop just to throw away afterwards.
So is the user agreement even written in English, right? So I don't know. People downloaded that Red Note as soon as TikTok was threatened, and that's pure Chinese app. So China is getting us.
Yep.
But
the W's over there.
But they're not doing anything sneaky, right? Let me not say they're not doing anything sneaky. They're not doing anything overly complicated, right? They just know that these people don't read. You know what I mean? Like
right. It's not. They're not. It's not cloak and dagger. They're just like, yeah. Just give us your information.
Yeah.
We made your products anyway, so why not also give us your data? So now we're about to go through a trade war. So let's see how that works out, right? But without getting into politics. Definitely continue to check us out. Tune in to the podcast. Again, Monday, Tuesday, our topics. Wednesday, discussion. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. And Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So you can hear us rant and rave about the Super Bowl way after Super Bowl happens, because we're recording just before it takes place. Hit up all the websites that go by our name, The Other Side of the Firewall, The Other Side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. Hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on pretty much all the platforms, but LinkedIn is where I'm most responsive. And where can they find you, Daniel?
On LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.